Hello, the good people of YouTube. Today I'm talking about, or I'm going to talk about the section 2 and chapter 4 and page 1 of the Tao. And this section we're talking about numerology. So it's quite important. So I'm just trying to make a lot of information into a small space so we can sort of talk about it and understand it. So this is section 2, chapter 4, page 1, Fibonacci and the golden ratio and its connection of numbers to the universe, part 1. Now, I'll give you a little introduction. Fibonacci was an Italian mathematician from the Republic of Pisa and is considered very, very important, a talented mathematician. And he studied the Hindu Arabic system of numerology. In about 1202, he introduced that system to the Western society, because prior to that, the system of, let's say, numerology was Roman based. And for example, if you want to write down 1956, which is my lovely date of birth, very auspicious, it would read as, if you look at it, it will read as MCMLV1. Or if you want to read 1984, which is the date that I started practicing, it will read as, what will read as? MCMLXXX1V. Or if you want to read a random number, 21,000, it will read as XXMDLV. Which, if you want to put few numbers together, it makes it very complicated because it's all letters. So whereas if you have like just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the Arabic system also, the Indo-Arabic and the Middle Eastern system introduced the concept of zero, which wasn't before that. So it really revolutionized the mathematics. And I studied also the book of I studied with the ancient Persian science and polymaths, the great Persian polymaths, which was called Avicenna or Ibn Sina. And he was talking about the numerology as well. So he lived about 1980 AD, 980 AD to 1307. So they were all kind of east-west, were just like passing information to each other and learning from each other. Now, the interesting thing about the Fibonacci number, and he wrote this book in a book called Liber Abaci, a book of calculation, and that's the word abacus comes from, calculations. You know, the abacus. So the interesting about the Fibonacci's number is it goes, if you had to start with 0 and 1, if you add 1 and 0 together, it becomes 1. If you add 1 and 1 together, it becomes 2. It becomes 2 and 3 together, it becomes 5. If you add 5 and 3 together, it becomes 8. If you add 8 and 5 together, it becomes 13, and so on and so forth. So you add the number plus the number before it. If you add together, you bring a number. Now, the important thing is, if you add all the numbers, you put them in a lot of squares, that square, if you draw, it creates a spiral. Now, we talk about that in more details next page. But the important thing about spiral is, if they say that everything in the Fibonacci's number, the whole universe, everything that we know in this universe, this Yang universe, is based on number. So it's based on that Fibonacci number. And the more you add, the more you go up the Fibonacci number, you reach a number which is called the golden ratio. We talk about that next one, the golden ratio number. So the mathematicians say that everything in the universe, architect, the shell on a snail, the flowers, the seeds, the human body, the face, everything is based on this Fibonacci number, the golden ratio. So they say everything in the universe is number, which is true part, because it's one part is Yang, is that part. Where is it? Where is my Yang? There it is. Sorry, it goes reverse. So anyway, Yang here. So this part is yang. But the other part of the universe is yin, which is energy and spirit. So sometimes this scientist, this mathematician, what is called theoretical mathematician, they put everything in theory, which is great. But they forget about the other side, which is energy, spirit, soul, Tao, God. But because we live in two universes, we talk about that later, two parallel universes, the yang universe and the yin universe. The mathematical, logical universe and the energy universe. So remember that.